Have you ever wondered how to be able to supply your children with ideas that will move them forward in the desires that you have for them? I can see my internet is really low, so give me a second while I make sure that it's not okay. I think I'm working okay. Let me know if you can see me okay, hear me okay. I just want to make sure that I don't lose you guys. I'm at a new location. I'm actually in New York visiting my mom. So I need to make sure that this is working. All right. I think I'm back. I dropped for a second there. I think I'm back. All right. Let's get talking about 5 ways to spark ideas in your children. I want you to know that I am on a mission to really equip parents to supply and influence their children with wholesome ideas. And that movement is 1,000 wholesome ideas. I'm super excited about it. This is a passion of mine to instill in you. And you might be thinking, well, how do I supply those ideas? How do I get my children interested in wholesome ideas? Well, if that's where you are, I'm real excited to be sharing with you 5 ways to spark ideas. I'm Dollie Freeman. I am the creator and mind behind Mason Mastery. And this show is to equip you with actionable steps that you can take right now, today, to move your children forward with wholesome ideas. If you haven't joined the movement yet, I encourage you to go check it out at 1000wholesomeideas.com and see what it's all about. Now, as we get started with today, I know how hard it is to often supply good ideas. And, with the summer months on us, we get a little bit out of curriculum, and our children may be coming up with you and letting you know how bored they are. Well, I want you to know boredom is a wonderful thing and you should embrace it and you should let your children become bored because it's only within that boredom that the mind can actually begin to search for new ideas. In that, I want you to be prepared. Summertime is a perfect opportunity for you to be able to supply your children with new ideas, with wholesome ideas that will equip them. So if you have a piece of paper and pen ready, I want to equip you with some ways to get started with that. So the very first way is I want you to watch to see if your children are acting out anything from their lessons. This will let you know what you've already been supplying through curriculum that will encourage your children in their free time. So if you know that you've given your children, one of my kids' favorite is Daniel Boone or Davy Crockett, and you see them out there hunting for bear or just trying to read tracks, what have you, then that means that the curriculum that you have been supplying to them in the form of lessons has actually influenced their mind and help them to get out and act out their things. I remember when we were reading or listening to the dramatization of um, Pilgrim's Progress and how I watched our children playing out scenes at the park. That's what I want you to look for. I want you to be watching for those things because here's the key. Continue to supply ideas along that way. So if you know your children are loving Davy Crockett, get them a coon hat, get them one of those wooden guns or even those plastic knives, not that you get at the grocery store, but ones that mimic Bowie's knife. That will help them to be able to get into that imagination and act out those things. Now, if you've supplied your children with ideas of artists and you see them drawing or wanting to get into paint and different mediums, I want you to encourage them and give them the times and tools to keep in that process. The whole purpose of their education and lessons is for them to continue to think about these things and to have ideas. So make sure you're doing that. The second thing is I want you to equip your children to dig deeper in interest from their lessons in their free time. I get this question all the time, but what if my children have these deep interests and it's not something that I've planned? Do I throw all my plans away? No, this is where you allow them more time in their free time in the afternoon. So, for a perfect example, one of our children loved the Oregon Trail. And so we made sure we took her to the library and she researched all about the Oregon Trail in her free time. And then she began to write things that I never assigned, and she was really into that stuff. She got into a lot of historical fiction novels and really enjoyed that aspect. Our boys got into nature and got into weaponry and got into golf and football. And so we made sure that we gave our children the ability to dig deeper, meaning we gave them books on football, books on golf. We allowed our children to watch the Golf Fix, and we made sure that they had golf clubs and footballs, and we made sure that they had archery things when they're interested in archery. We made sure that they had the ability to dig deeper, not just necessarily having time with these things, but learning the skills of those things by really getting deep. And a lot of people put their children in, sports academics, but they're missing out on a lot of things when they're just showing up to play. There's a lot to learn. A perfect example is in golf. You learn a lot by studying the golfers that have gone before, especially when they have to overcome and persevere through challenges, because golf is a mind game. It is not completely a skill game. So 99% of the game, you have to win between the ears. And so that's something that we had to teach and dig deeper that you cannot learn necessarily out on the course. So allowing your children to dig deeper is really important. The third way is take your children outside to explore and discover ideas outdoors. What I want you to be thinking about is not just, reptiles, which my children loved, not just insects, not just birds, but there are trees and plants. There's apps on the phone. I did a show on some of the outdoor teachers. You want to look into that because those are ideas that are right there in front of you. You can be taking picnics, bike rides. You can be going on nature walks or hiking. There are so many ways that you can actually be seeding and influencing ideas outdoors. It's a wonderful time, and it really reminds me of Charlotte Mason's phrase of seize happy moments. And those outdoor times are those happy moments. And you could be seeding ideas and influencing their mind in things of scripture and in things of historical ones just while taking a walk. So it's not just what they're seeing and observing in nature. It can be within the discussions that you have by seizing the happy moments. Way number 4 is ask your children if they would like to learn about something new. When we ask our children that, it helps them to begin to take ownership, begin to start thinking of their own interests, begin to ponder the things that sparked their interest somewhere else. Oftentimes, you will find children will say things like electronics, games, Fortnite, Minecraft, those kind of things. Be very, very inspiring with them about how to take those interests and build on them. Manoa received a beautiful card from a friend where she sketched Minecraft with in a card, and it was the sweetest little thing. That's what I want you to be thinking about. It doesn't need to be just electronics, but how can you bring electronics into more ideas? We have allowed Manoa to make Captain America shields. We have allowed him to sketch. We've allowed a lot of YouTubes about how that type of movies are actually developed. So think outside of the box. Get very creative for your children when they have an interest that may just well lead to twaddle if you're not involved in their aspects of them and making them a bigger opportunity. The fifth way is I want you to observe what your children do in their free time without you intervening. So, what I want you to think about, and this is a pivotal way, this is really key. This is the beginning stages of masterly in activity. If your children are doing things that kind of give you that, oh, that I'm really happy that they're doing that, or Legos being one, if they're choosing to navigate towards Legos in their free time and just explore and spend 30 minutes to 2 hours with it, um, that could be art, that could be anything, baking, if they love to be in the kitchen. When you can observe what your children are choosing to do, and that's the key, what they're choosing to do without you intervening or moving them forward in any way, I want you to focus on that and broaden it for them. Give them more opportunities to go along that path. Charlotte Mason calls it ideas producing after its kind. So if you can take the time observing your children in when you would not telling them what to do, and they're getting to choose exactly how they're spending their time, that will open up a lot of ideas for you. Now, I want you to learn about how to be intentional about those ideas in order for you to ensure that you're giving your children wholesome ideas. That is pivotal. Wholesome ideas. So I want to equip you today with an idea tracker. Let me put this on the screen for you. You can go to charlottemasonmastery.com/idea-tracker. When you see that, you're going to easily be able to get your children involved in making sure that every day they're commenting of or collecting their ideas and putting it inside this tracker. It's a 12-month tracker, and it's really I think it's probably the easiest way that you can become intentional and consistent in it. But here's the positive thing that I want you to be thinking about as you're using this idea tracker. At the bottom, it gives you the ability to put a dominant idea in place. This dominant idea is the things that you're seeing your children talking a lot about, doing on their own, looking and researching for more, where they're seeming to dominate their discussion and their mind. Those are the things I want you to write down at the bottom, because this is giving you a clear guidance in how you can actually provide more influence in the mind and the heart of your children, aligning with what's already interesting to them and helping form their education in that way. So let me go ahead and post this link for you in the comment while I see if there's any comments for today. And that'll allow you to quickly grab it and head to downloading it. You would want to download one for every child. And the key is that you are supplying daily ideas. And what I love about Charlotte Mason is she said that if there is any type of morning without a new idea, it is a wasted morning, even if the child is closely looking at their books. So this is really, Charlotte Mason is telling us our goal in our day is not keeping our children close to their studies and keeping them attentive and focused and working diligently. Our goal is to ensure that whatever we supply them, they walk away with something to think about. And these need to be new ideas every morning. So I hope that helps you. I'm really excited about this tracker to help you become intentional and consistent. The key is you want to develop few dominant ideas for your children to know exactly where and what they want to do in adulthood. And the only way to do that is to supply your children with a whole lot of ideas, influencing them and letting them become thinkers, but not just any thinkers, wholesome thinkers. And the only way we can do that is to become a wholesome influencer in our children's lives. Now, let me quickly tell you about a 3-part series coming up. I'm so excited about this. This 3-part series is an answer to a lot of dilemma that I have heard homeschooling mamas deal with, including myself back all those years ago when we started in 1999. And that is confidence. Charlotte Mason says that mothers must have confidence in themselves and in their children. But let's start with ourselves. And over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to be focusing in on helping you build confidence as a homeschool mom in a 3-part series that is going to give you a confidence kit. And we're going to go deep. We're going to be longer than 15 minutes each time. I don't know exactly how long, but you are going to want to be watching for the kit because it is going to walk you through exactly how to become confident in your decisions of not just homeschooling, but how you're homeschooling, because it's within the things we're going to be covering over the next 3 weeks that will build your confidence like nothing else has ever done. And you're going to learn how to trust yourself more. And that is what Charlotte Mason is really telling us. And if you know anything about my newsletters, I'm really focusing in on the calming influences to the heart. And the one calming influence is confidence in ourselves. And we lack it in this community. We get really too concerned with things on the outside. And so I'm going to be helping process 3 ideas for you over the next 3 weeks. And it's going to go deep. So be watching for that next Wednesday, the next 3 Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. And until then, I will talk to you later and be watching. Bye for now.